Hi, I'm Crash and this is my voice 2.5 years on T. My human suit was assigned female at birth. I am non-binary, not a man, but apparently it's etched into my motherboard that my skin suit was supposed to be at least somewhat more masculine than the one I got, so I'm on testosterone to push things in that general direction. One of the things I most wanted out of taking testosterone was a deeper voice, and by luck that's one of the first changes I got, so I'm happy. There are a couple of things about Transmasc voice changes that I haven't really heard anyone talk about though, so I want to put the information out there in case it helps anyone else like me. There are probably a bazillion videos on social media of Transmasc people chronicling their voice changes.
Hi, I'm Generic Bot and this is my voice 1 day on T. I'm Generic Bot and this is my voice 1 week on T.
My voice 1 month on T.
I'm Generic Bot and this is my voice 4 months on T.
But I've never seen anyone mention that the voice change can feel like having a cold, at first. You know when you're coming down with something and your throat is a little sore and you sound hoarse? I got that a few weeks into testosterone use, which was disconcerting because this was at the height of the pandemic. But I asked around on an internet discussion board and some trans guys told me that this hoarse sensation is pretty standard. And I never did actually get sick during this time period, so it would appear that this was indeed just my vocal cords going through changes. I've had a few more times since then that I got sick voice for a few days, and it always appeared to correspond with my voice shifting down another notch. It's still changing a bit even after 2.5 years by the way, which is something else that may not be common knowledge. Hormones can sometimes take a long time to be done fully changing you. I saw one transition video where a guy's face was still getting subtly more masculine even after 8 years. So try to be patient, just because you don't get a certain change right away doesn't mean you never will. The other big thing I wanted to mention is about the voice change making your voice crack. Everyone knows that this phenomenon happens to teenage boys. It's a thing I've seen a lot of Transmasc folks talk about too. But listen. I always assumed that the pitch of my voice pre-T was just the natural way it came out, without me consciously trying to sound any type of way. And I figured that testosterone would make my voice automatically come out deeper, and that if my voice cracked for a while, it was just my vocal cords taking a while to settle into their new configuration or something. But when I woke up one day and found that my voice was doing that teenage boy cracking thing, I could tell by the feeling in my throat that the cracking was caused by my habitual vocal register being a bit too high for my larynx etc. to handle anymore. I tried speaking at a lower pitch, "You want breakfast?" and it felt more comfortable on my throat and the cracking totally went away. It quickly became a habit to speak at this new pitch and my voice has been fairly smooth ever since, unless something startles me, and then my scream straight up sounds like a goose being punched in the stomach. Anyway, that's how I learned our voices are, to an extent, a deliberate choice. If I really was just speaking however my voice wanted to come out, I would never have run into that voice cracking problem. My voice would just have started coming out lower one day without me thinking about it. My discovery was confirmed when I watched a video by a voice coach who helps trans people to develop voices that better match their genders. She said something like,
"Some people feel as though this sort of voice training is a lie, as though I'm teaching them to speak in a fake voice. But that's not true. When you were growing up, you learned to speak by listening to and copying other people. You most likely tried to emulate the parent who was the same gender that you were assigned. My voice lessons simply help you find the voice you would have found anyway if your circumstances had been different."
It's amazing what vocal training can do by the way. I haven't personally taken any lessons yet, but YouTube has lots of videos with vocal coaches giving free tips and vocal exercises, and I've endeavored to practice the exercises at home a bit. You can search phrases like FTM vocal coaching or trans voice training or things like that if you want to get a glimpse of what a vocal coach could do for you. Another piece of information that I only stumbled across after decades of watching and reading trans-related stuff online is that apparently what makes the average man's voice deeper than the average woman's is vocal cords that are both thicker and longer. Testosterone can make a trans guy's vocal cords thicker. That's just adding more layers to what's already there, I guess, but if the person is a full-grown adult, the length of their vocal cords is already set and they're not going to get any longer. So there are some limitations on how much our voices can actually change. Having said that, I've learned from vocal coaches on YouTube that the resonance of a voice is at least as important as pitch, if not more, when it comes to distinguishing a woman's voice from a man's. Taking T may not ever make you sound like
James Earl Jones,
but your voice could still very well pass for a cis guy's one day, if that's what you want. Here's a bonus piece of information. We know that when a Transmasc person takes testosterone, their vocal cords thicken and this is what gives them a deeper voice. But vocal cords can only add bulk on, not take it off. This means that trans femme people who go on estrogen won't get a higher voice from it because their vocal cords can't get thinner. It also means that if there are ever supply chain issues and I can't get my testosterone for a long time, I might panic at the thought of my body fat starting to shift back to its original pattern and my muscle mass trying to decrease, but my spiffy new voice is there for life and nobody can take it away from me. That's all I have to say for now. I will post more videos about my trans journey little by little, so if that's a thing that interests you, feel free to subscribe to my channel. In addition to the trans stuff, I also have a lot to say about autism and ADHD related stuff, and I know there's some pretty big overlap between being trans and being neurodivergent, so that may be of interest to you too. Thanks for watching.